Hey everybody, my name is Akarwa. Welcome back to Let's Play Fragile Dreams. Today we are going to be finishing up the sewer area. We covered a lot of stuff in the last episode, so in this one all we really have to do is check out these stairs in the back here. Well, those two sure went down quick. Up this stairwell, and on the left, we will find a storage room. And somehow I screwed that up. I screwed up a perfectly good two crying woman encounter. Oh well. That doorway is to the other staircase that was opposite the one that we took. A couple jellyfish to deal with, but that's no big deal. Here goes our weapon. That is the biggest problem with dealing with jellyfish. There's nothing down this way. So let's take a turn. An awful lot of interesting chalk drawings here. Looks like somebody's been playing tic-tac-toe. And in fact, have been keeping score. Huh. Makun, Taki. Interesting. That's good news. That's where we're headed. Is that giraffe at the end here? This is Archive Room 3. Got a newspaper about Glass Cage. And some child's drawings that they made for their mother.
Achoo! I hope I'm not getting sick. Wow, very cool.
Good evening. Thank you for the many entertaining episodes. I'm truly sad I'll never get to hear your voice again. I loved your show and looked forward to it every week. It always cheered me up. I know you'll never get the chance to read this, but I wanted to send you one last thanks. From your biggest fan, thank you very much.
Feel free to ask should you ever have any need for my services.
Well, we do need a new weapon. But I don't know if I necessarily want to pay.
Have a nice day!
We'll switch back to bamboo stick, and I'll accidentally try to put the golf club in the backpack, which is that thing I do. We're gonna need some extra room for carrying stuff around. You'll see why in a little bit.
Hey, it's that cat from before. What's it doing here?
He's looking at us. Cute little guy. Let's see if I can get him to come here.
So, something that you do, I think exactly once in this game, is have to lure a cat. And the way that you do that is by taking a cat toy, which we fortunately got right before this, and then just rapidly pressing the A button, and Seto will shake the cat toy up and down until the cat comes to play with it. And at that point, you earn the cat's trust, and it will follow you around. Not just in this instance, but in fact in all instances of finding cats. You can get them to follow you around if you have a cat toy or cat food. There's no benefit in doing this, except for this instance.
Where did you run off to? You had me worried. You know it's dangerous to wander off too far. You. I know you. The boy who touched me.
It wasn't like that. I only meant to...
I know you're not a bad person. I can tell. Because he likes you.
That's a relief. And hey, I'm sorry about before.
Your name? Your name, please?
Oh, my name. My name is Seto.
Seto?
Yeah.
That's a short name. Seto.
And, what about you? What's your...
Glass cage will commence shortly.
What's he? Shin.
Return at once.
This cage was that thing from that newspaper. It looks like we can't follow her. It also looks like Sai knows who Shin is. Shin being the voice on the PA. Maybe we're starting to learn a bit more about the world. And it only took 6 hours?
Maybe I'll sit down.
I'm going to go ahead and save here because we have covered a good deal of ground. And also, I suppose this upcoming portion could go one of two ways. Right up here we see a mystery item. Though it is no mystery to us because we've picked it up once before. This is a longbow. And this is a hint from the developers that we are going to want to equip it for this next portion. This is kind of a shooting gallery that the developers have put in. There are 2 sections. Each section has, I believe, 5 of these Voice of Resentment type enemies. And of course, when you hit them once, they teleport to a different location and start trying to chuck fireballs at you. It turns into a game where you are looking for these guys, you're listening for the fireballs getting launched, and then trying to figure out by positional audio where they teleported to, so that you can try to kill them before they wind up hitting you with fireballs. I would say the most nerve-wracking thing about this is if you wind up going too far in one direction, you'll walk out of the encounter range and they'll all despawn and you'll have 5 brand new ones to fight. Just not great. You can see here though what I mean about the way to take out fireballs, since they do seek, they are homing fireballs, is to hit them in the air before they get a chance to hit you first. One sounds really close. There it is. I accidentally hit its fireball instead of it that time. Great, leveled up. The first few times I played through this game, I was not a big fan of this section, and I actually would tend to just run past these guys. I would stick to one side of the screen and use all of the pillars to separate myself from the voices of resentment, because their fireballs would just hit into the pillars and I'd be okay. And if you choose to not actually deal with these guys, that's the best way that I know to do it, because the encounter radius is just before the stairs leading into the water and just before the ladder leading up. So if you just follow one of the two walls the entire way there, just sort of hug the corner, it's going to be almost impossible for them to be able to hit you unless they happen to teleport in a very unfortunate spot. But over the playthroughs of this game, I have gotten better at dealing with their fireballs, and it started to get pretty fun. And these guys will respawn every time you use a bonfire or change an area, so if you want to, you can do this as many times as you feel like. I don't think it's quite that fun. So since this area is so big, and there's honestly not a lot going on in it, we're going to have a few cuts. Otherwise, we would have gone way over the 30-minute mark that I tried for. Here on the other side of the area, there's an item here. And as we continue on, at about halfway through, there will be another set of ladders to climb up to that upper platform, and near that ladder there will be another item. Should be right around this corner. Right there. And then I'll head up here and head to this pillar, and there's a final item behind it. And then you get to walk all the way back. And around this part of playing, I remembered that one of the earlier voices dropped an item. And so after checking out the sign, I started wandering around looking for the item. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that out too. At least the majority of it. At the top of this ladder, we'll find a bonfire, which we will gladly use because there's been an awful lot of stuff that we don't want to necessarily do again. These energy drink healing items are really nice. They take up 1 square and they heal so much HP.
Feel free to ask should you ever have any need for my services.
So I'll let you in on a secret. Coming up soon, we will be able to find a one-handed weapon that is better than the golf club, which is why I chose not to buy a
Well
golf club
then,
yet.
this is goodbye.
Though I am going to be a little annoyed with myself that I didn't get it, because there are a lot of birds to fight up here that I'm going to have to deal with before I get that better weapon. Before we head down the tunnel, let's check out these catwalks on either side. It is a long walk, and there are enemies to deal with. It's got some wandering spirits. It's really easy for these guys to push you out of the encounter range. So what I recommend is something that I'm not doing here, which is to head forward past where they spawn. Because I was playing it real dangerous with accidentally despawning them. At the end of the catwalk, we have a mystery item.
Maybe I'll sit down. I see.
I just don't get the boss these days. Behind the mill, I heard 2 men talking. They wore matching white uniforms, smeared with soot, while smoke seeped from the mouths on their young faces. I snuck up to where their shadows touched the earth and eavesdropped from behind a pole.
He missed the deadline again.
And he smacked me just yesterday. Said I left the ashtray full.
If he didn't dog us like that, you wouldn't have anything else to do.
He said all we do anyways is smoke cigarettes.
I just don't get him.
Boy, you said it.
There was the banging sound of a mallet. Word had it this mill was built by the skilled but eccentric foreman. He'd since taken on 2 assistants to make furniture around the clock. But the 2 men just idled their days away, breathing out an endless stream of white smoke.
It must be you-know-what.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Ask him.
You idiot, he'll do more than just box your ears if you do. I wouldn't complain even if you ran me through the sand or alive.
Ugh. Just can't win with him.
What I'll say.
And with that, they let out white sighs.
It's seriously been a month since Fleur went missing? Huh, guess she's not coming back. She probably finally had it with that barbarian. But I'm gonna miss how one look at her kiss her, and the boss's mood, and do a 180.
That was as far as I overheard. Stealthily, I did an about-face and skirted the wall of the mill. From my neck now dangled a blue bell, the symbol of this mill. Today, I had come to be the boss's Fleur. Approaching the window, a loud voice boomed from inside.
I told you it's just not possible! You're not making any sense, you dimwit!
The sound of the receiver slamming down was coupled with wood being shaved. My ears stood on end, and trembles racked my body. The words, "Run through the sander alive," danced in my head. No doubt it had hurt like mad. I imagined it, looking down at the blue bell. Does it hurt more than death? Not having experienced either, I didn't know. But dying probably hurt more. At that thought, the trembling stopped. It must have hurt Fleur a lot.
I can't do this anymore!
This time, a piece of furniture flew out the window. Things were taking a turn for the worse. I couldn't control my shivers, and the blue bell let out a ring. The boss turned his wrinkled brown face in my direction and scowled. I thought he'd look right through me with his muddy gray eyes. I didn't have the beautiful body of Fleur at all. I was terrified he'd say I wasn't his lovely Fleur, and would run me through the sander right then and there. He suddenly swung his hand high. The palm of his weathered old hand was blistered, the skin like bark. I was sure he'd strike me. But instead his hand came up to cup my face. His rough and powerful hand stroked my head so softly.
You scrawny little thing.
His gruff voice was more like a groan. The way it trembled struck my heart. Didn't he doubt me? Didn't he see right through me? Should I really let him continue stroking my head like this? I was speechless as he took me in his arms effortlessly. "Boys, get in here," he yelled behind the mill.
Quit your grumbling and get back to work. If you don't want me to wax your heads, then polish me some new wood. And step on it.
Despite being yelled at, the two men had twinkles in their eyes.
Boss's Fleur.
He's back!
They hollered, hands in the air. Unable to speak, the blue bell spoke for me with a tinkle. At that moment, I had won over her name. I am Fleur. Fleur with her blue bell, petted by a hard-headed boss. I am a furniture maker's beloved daughter.
That's entry 3, I believe, in that storyline. And that will do it for tonight. Thanks for watching. See you next week.